Welcome to another episode of the And Now I Know podcast. I'm your host, 32 Flavazz, and I'm here to inspire you to live life at your fullest potential. If you're looking for a podcast that's going to inspire you to chase your dreams, motivate you to get up each and every day, and help you navigate life just a little bit better, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. If you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening on any streaming platform, be sure to hit that follow button. Don't forget to download, and most importantly, don't forget to leave your feedback because I love reading the reviews. Now, some of you guys I know are new here, so allow me to reintroduce myself. I go by 32 Flavazz across all platforms, and I am a motivational speaker. I am a mentor. I am a content creator and influencer. I am an entrepreneur, and I believe that my life's purpose is to inspire others to live life at their fullest potential. When you listen to any of my content, I want you to know that it is possible for you to become the best version of yourself. When you listen to me, I want you to be motivated. I want you to be inspired. And so if you're looking for a content creator, an influencer, a vlogger, or a podcaster that will help you get on track to living the best life, the life that God called you to live, be sure to check me out across all platforms. And don't forget to download this episode. Now, this is the very first episode of 2025. All right. I filmed an episode 3 weeks ago, and that episode just doesn't match the way that I feel right now. And that episode, I was talking about how I didn't start off 2025 the best way that I could have, or the way that I normally do. So what I mean by that is usually I go about the New Year's by writing down my goals, writing down the vision, creating the vision board. And this year, I just did not do that at the beginning of the year. And I think I just needed to shake out a little bit of that 2024 out of my system. And I believe that I shook out all of 2024, and I'm back, and I'm better, and I'm lively, and I'm happy, and I'm excited. Last week was my birthday. I had Ray Moolah, one of my friends. I talk about her on the podcast, and I share her. I post her on my platforms. So she came in town, and I linked up with a couple of my other friends, and that was great. And after that, I launched my mentorship program. So if you are not familiar with that, I just launched a new mentorship program called Roots in Her. So right now, if you are able, go on Instagram and search Roots in Her. That's ROOTSINHER. I just dropped a mentorship program, and I also had a birthday. My birthday was January 26th, and I spent my birthday in New York City, and that literally was one of the best birthdays I've ever had. And obviously, when you come back from the birthday, now it's time to really lock in. And so I am just in that mode. It's grind time. I am right now just trying to become the best version of myself. I'm trying to get as fine as I can, as fit as I can, as snatched as I can, as mentally well as I can, or as I've ever been, especially for the spring and summer. All right. So I figured, why not start the very first episode of the year off by talking about rebranding? Because I know a lot of people at the beginning of the year are focused on becoming their best selves. Everybody's in the gym. I mean, some people probably fell off because the gym don't look like how I was looking at the beginning of this year, right? But people have goals that they're trying to stick to. People are trying to reinvent themselves. People trying to get fine to prepare for summer, all of these different things. So I figured, why not talk about that, especially because I'm going through a rebranding process right now. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I am channeling and entering into a whole new level, right? I am really working on becoming a person that I've never been before, right? 6 years ago, when I started my lash business, when I became an esthetician, I didn't see myself being a motivational speaker on the internet. I didn't see myself having like this inspirational, motivational platform. I didn't see myself getting flown out to another city to speak at a women's event. Like, I just didn't see that for myself. I'm not going to say that I didn't see greatness, but I didn't know it was going to look like this. And so I feel like there's other people out there listening, and you might be listening right now like, wow, I am going through a rebrand, or I'm trying to, live a life that I never thought that I could live. I'm trying to become a new version of myself. So this episode is going to really help you understand what a rebrand is, and help you navigate through that, and give you tips and tricks on how to just become the best version of yourself unapologetically. So when it comes to a rebrand, first things first, you got to change your story. The outside will follow. Again, change your story first. The outside will follow. Transformation starts in your mind before it shows up in your life. Transformation is a mind thing. If you don't make the mindset shift, it's kind of hard for you to make the outer shift. It's kind of hard for people to take you serious. Okay? The biggest mistake people make is they try to change their job, their appearance, or surroundings before they change their mindset. The real invention starts internally. I've talked about this on several past episodes about me going to therapy, my therapy journey, me learning myself, me dressing differently, me talking differently, me showing up in the world differently. That did not happen overnight. I'm learning and growing and evolving still, okay? Growth and evolution is a long-lasting thing. Like, you will never be finished working on yourself. You are your greatest project. So with that being said, the real change has to happen within mind, body, and soul. So you got to identify your old story. You got to identify what you've been telling yourself. So for me, it's like, okay, people only see me as a lash tech. People only see me as an esthetician. People only see me as this shop owner. And you got to replace that with the new narrative. You got to say, hey, I'm stepping into a new version of myself and I deserve to be seen in a new way. You deserve to be seen in that new way. And the best way to be seen in that new way is start showing up as the person that you desire to be. You got to act like you that person already. For myself, I'm going to keep using me as example. I say that I'm a motivational speaker. I say that I am a mentor. I have to speak like that. I have to talk like that. I have to show up like that. Not just posting it on the internet and being a whole nother person at home or when I'm dealing with my friends and family. No, I have to show up like that all across the board. So for example, if you always been known as the shy person, if you've been known as the quiet person, but want to be more confident, you want to be seen as confident, start by speaking up in small ways. Start by initiating conversations. Start by expressing yourself. Start by letting people know when they got you messed up in a calm, kind, respectful way. When you at the nail shop or when you getting your hair done or hair cut, speak up if your tech or your barber or your beauty professional is not doing what you want them to do, or if you don't like what is happening. You know what I'm saying? Those small changes, really stepping into that confident mind as a shy person, will get you closer to becoming the person who is truly confident within themselves. So to piggyback off of that, my next point is to start making small, powerful changes. Again, start making small, powerful changes. You don't have to move to a new city or quit your job just to rebrand. Small shifts add up. Reinvention isn't about flipping your whole entire life overnight. It's about making intentional choices every single day. Okay? I'm currently reading this book and it's called The 12-Week Year. And essentially the book is telling you that if you write your goals down in January for the entire year, that's cool. But let's break it down into the 12 weeks, because January from December is literally 12 months away. That's a long time. But if you look at your life or look at your year and break the year down into 12 weeks, each a piece, that means that each week matters. And if each week matters, that means that every day matters. And if every day matters, that means every second, every hour, every minute of the day counts. And with that mindset, it will help you be more productive. It will help you become the person that you're trying to become in a smaller amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when we make our goals and our visions and we write them down, we be writing stuff down that you want to get done in a year that could really get accomplished in a month. You know what I'm saying? But if you think you have all the time in the world, you're not going to move with a sense of urgency. And I think that's what happens. We fall short when we get to thinking that we have all the time in the world, when we really don't know how much time we have. So this is what we can do to start making small, powerful changes. First things first is changing your routine. Waking up earlier, read different books, try new experiences. The best thing I ever did for myself is make sure I keep a routine, because with routine, that means you will live a life with structure, right? You got a foundation that you stick to. You got rules and codes that you live by every single day. The day won't be the day unless you do said things, okay? So for me, as of late, I have been getting up early, and I've been trying to make sure I do one physical, mental, and spiritual goal or spiritual thing that gets me closer to the person that I desire to be. The next point is to upgrade your environment. Declutter your space. Switch up your style. Surround yourself with people who align with your future. And that is so huge. Surrounding yourself with like people. Because I don't know if you ever heard this before, but if you hang out with 3 thieves, you're going to be the 4th. If you hang out with 3 inspiring people, 3 fit people, you're going to be the 4th. If you hang out with 3 rich people, eventually you will be the 4th. Birds of a feather flock. They've been saying that for forever. So understand that the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you talk to every day, the people that you speak to on a daily matter. So sometimes you got to declutter your space and declutter your relationships and deprioritize certain relationships. I'm not saying cut everyone off, but what I'm saying is you got to surround yourself with people who are like you and who are on the same type of time that you are on. It just makes things flow easier, and it keeps you on track, and it removes the distraction. The next point is to make sure you set boundaries. If people only see you in a certain way, start showing them a different side. Say no to things that don't fit you. I'm the queen of saying no now. I'm the queen of saying, hey, that isn't going to work. Hey, unfortunately, I can't. And it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. You don't want to come off like you're better than just because you're making the choices that you're supposed to be making for your life, for yourself. But you just want to let people know, like, hey, I'm just not into that anymore. I'll pass, but we can do this. Like, instead of just shutting people down saying, hey, I don't want to go to the club, but let's pull up to this coffee shop. Let's link up. Let's work on some things together. You got some things you want to work on? An example, if you've always been the yes person, the yes man, the people pleaser who puts everybody first, everybody before themselves, start practicing saying, let me think about it. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to get back to you and actually get back to people. Give it some thought. But if it really does not align with your vision, your purpose, your plan, you ain't got to go. Tell them people no. You have to get comfortable with telling people no if you want to be the best version of yourself. Successful people tell people no. My next point, be okay with people not understanding your glow up. Everybody is not going to get it. Everybody was not on the call. When God called you, it was not a conference call, okay? Everybody does not have to understand your growth. Not everyone will get it, and that's okay. One of the hardest parts of rebranding yourself is the fact that people will question it. They might say things like, you've changed, or they might try to keep you in a box that they used to keeping you in, right? It's kind of hard, especially people that you've grown up with, to see you in a different light, because those people know all your dirt. They know everything that you've done. They remember the drunk nights. They remember the nights where they had to come save you. So the moment that you try to change, also, it's a reflection of where they are. You know what I'm saying? Imagine being in a group of people that used to kick it and hang out and drink all the time and smoke all the time, and you are making the choice to start going to church, start working out all the time. You stop drinking. Of course, you're going to be the eyeball. Of course, people going to look at you crazy. Of course, people going to say you changed up. But the best thing that you can do for yourself is pay that no mind. You got to expect resistance. People are used to the old you, but that doesn't mean that you have to stay the same. And the next point is don't over explain. You don't owe anyone a detailed breakdown of your growth. Let your actions speak for itself. There's this post I just reposted on Instagram, and it says, a farmer doesn't stand in the field explaining every crop. He lets the harvest do the talking. Let your fruit speak. I know in the Bible, I forget the exact verse in the book, but I know that it says, you want to judge a man by its fruit. You don't need to worry about Like, you don't got to do the talking. So keep going anyway. If they don't support, they might not be meant to come on this next level. They might not be meant for it to be a part of this new chapter of your life. For example, if you're transitioning from somebody who always partied, always kicked it, to somebody who is focused on their goals now, people might make fun of you. People might crack jokes. People might throw shade. But just know, we ain't worried about that. Because if you worry about that, that's just another distraction. Focus on your goals and watch your life bloom. Okay? Watch you flourish. The next point is announce your rebrand with confidence. Show up as this new version unapologetically. Once you made internal shifts and started showing up differently, own it. Don't downplay your growth. I notice a lot of times, and I've done this myself, people will downplay their growth to make other people more comfortable. If you have to downplay yourself to make other people feel comfortable, like I just said, those are not the people for you. When you get around people, you want to be able to brag on, and I don't even want to say brag, but you want to be able to be comfortable in this new skin. Okay, because you worked hard for this. You grind for this. You put in the work. You put in the time. You went to therapy. You did the healing to become this version of yourself. Why you got to dim that light? Take up the space. So how do we do that? You got to move different. You got to walk with purpose. You have to make eye contact. When you walk in the room, shoulders back, head up. Take up the space. Not only do you take up space, you want to speak different. Instead of saying, I'm trying. If somebody gives you a compliment, oh, I'm trying. No, you say, I am, because you are. And you deserve to be confident, and you deserve to, be bold. Now, I'm going to say that, yeah, we shouldn't be bragging. We should be humble, but it's okay to take up space in a room. And along with that, you want to make sure you are setting new expectations. Let people know what you're about now. I've had to tell people like, hey, I'm not on that anymore. I know that's what I used to do, but I'm not really a fan of that. That doesn't really align with who I've grown to be. And that might intimidate some people, but the right people will understand. They will embrace you, and they will deal with you and meet you exactly where you are. So the best example for this is if somebody invites you out, or if somebody's like, hey, let's go do this. Or if somebody is trying to gossip on the phone or talk about some stuff you don't want to talk about, you can easily tell them, I'm not available for that right now. Or, I'm not really into that. Like, let's change the subject. Like, let's talk about this. You know what I'm saying? You just got to reverse. You know what I'm saying? The conversation, because people will continue to deal with you like they can only handle you based off what they know, like what they've known you to be. Once you start telling people and teaching people how to treat you, the right people will adapt. Okay. Rebranding isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. You don't need permission to start. There's this saying that you are your greatest project. You are your greatest project. You can never stop working on yourself. Have all of the goals, have the vision, have all of that. But remember that you are your greatest project. So if you got to work on yourself and change yourself 100 times until you get right, do that. Rebranding and becoming this version of myself is the best thing I could have ever done. I can't say that I would be on the internet right now showing up like this if it wasn't for my rebrand, if it wasn't for growth, if it wasn't for evolving. I had to change. I had to do things different. I realized that the way that I was living wasn't really aligned with who I say that I want to be. I've said this in episodes before, but when I was a little girl, it was like God just told me, like, you're going to be somebody one day. And I didn't know exactly what that meant. And just because you're not a celebrity walking the red carpet, that don't mean you're not somebody. But I just knew, and I still know in my heart, that God is calling me to a place that is so high. And when God is calling you to a place that is high, you cannot operate in the low. All right. You cannot associate yourself with low vibrational things. And so right now, my main focus is becoming the healthiest version of myself. I've been reading books. Y'all, let me tell you, at this big age, I should have read a lot more books than I have. But guess what? I read one book in January. I'm on my book for February. And each month this year, I'm dedicated to picking up a new book and reading. You got to make those shifts. I can't even sit on the phone like how I used to. Y'all, I used to sit on the phone all day long talking about nothing, talking about what I seen on the Shade Room. And granted, yes, I can say that I've always had some sort of structure going on in my life. Like that's just my strong suit. But there's been many times and plenty of times where I was just screwing around, talking about nothing. Like everything happens for a reason, but you could be way further if you remove the distractions and if you actually start doing the things that you know you are called to do. And so I hope that this episode really shed light on your rebrand. And if you are out there rebranding right now, shout out to you, man, because rebranding is not an easy thing. Being the best version of yourself, saying no is not an easy thing. And so I want to encourage you to keep going. If you are out there rebranding, if you are out there trying to become the best version of yourself, especially if you haven't seen it done before, especially if you don't really have any role models or anybody in your family becoming this type of person. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. And so that's why I love social media and I love TikTok and things like that, because you can create the algorithm. You can fill your algorithm with all the things that you need to keep you motivated and inspired. But don't ever, 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 ever let anybody talk you out of your rebrand or talk down on your growth or your rebrand. And 9 times out of 10, to let you know again, that if somebody is talking down on your rebrand, just know that they probably wish that they could do what you are doing. It is not easy showing up for yourself. But that don't mean you ain't supposed to do it. Only the strong survive, like my grandma say. And I know that when it's all said and done, you will be so happy with yourself going to bed at night knowing that you did the things that you said you wanted to do. So, as y'all know, I always close out each episode with the And Now I Know segment. And then now I know that rebranding is necessary. Because if you stay the same, you won't get anywhere. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so if you need to do a rebrand, if you need to change your mind, say no. If you need to reinvent yourself 100 times, do that. Do whatever it's going to take. Make all the changes necessary to be the best version of yourself. We literally only get one life. You literally only get one life. And I'm just committed to making the most out of it. And I hope that you are too. Once again, I thank you for tuning in to another episode of the And Now I Know podcast. This was a quick one, but I feel like it was quick and it was on point and straight to the point. Let me know how you guys felt or feel about the topic of rebranding. And let me know if you guys want to hear more on the topic of rebranding. And, you know, I can probably talk about more things that kind of help you stay focused on this journey, because I know it's not easy. And at the beginning of my journey, which started about 2 years ago, I was just trying to find anybody that looked like they was doing what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that this episode inspires you and it pushes you and it motivates you to continue to live life at your, fullest potential. I thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. And I will see you guys next time. Mwah.